Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we are going to do a women's WWE tier list here. I wanted to do this before WrestleMania, kind of putting everybody in the best slots that I can going into WrestleMania and how I feel like their push might be afterwards. So, a lot of stuff to put into play. Obviously, some people are injured, some people are on the table, like or on the shelf. So, like, there's not always the best I can guess, but we're gonna have to just guess on some of these. So let's just jump into it. So first up, we got Zoe Stark. They hadn't really been using her. They kind of brought her out just for that tag match. I don't think her year gets much better after this. The women's tag division is in shambles, but maybe they allow them to at least maybe challenge the tag team champs every once in a while and maybe go into some type of rivalry. I think it's the only way that we see Zoe actually get a little bit of a better push. I'll put her in C. Also, when I do these tier lists, I try to make all the tier lists, like all the tiers, even numbers. So some people, you know, it makes it a little bit harder in some of the pushes and some of the areas. So C, I think, is pretty standard. Next up is um, Kiana James. She's been on the shelf and she's been hurt. I don't know how long she's supposed to be gone for. I don't really see her coming back and getting a huge push anyways. I think they kind of ease her into it. I wouldn't even honestly be surprised if they put her back in NXT just to get her going again and get her some more momentum. I'm going to probably put her in D. Next up is Natalia. Again, another person they just kind of brought in for that tag team gauntlet, but hadn't really been doing much. I do think that she might get some type of match or storyline with Maxine Dupree on some of the Raws after um, the thing, but I don't really see her getting much more than that. I'll put her in C, but I do think she has a less of a chance than Zoe Stark. Next up is Nikki Cross. It just all depends on the why it's sick. I think she's in a little bit better boat than most of the other people that I'm putting in C because I do think she will be back on TV once Uncle Howdy is not injured. But until then, she's kind of just sitting there. Her and Alexa Bliss should team up, be a tag team. I think that would help the tag division and help both of them get the better shake of everything. Next up is Candice LeRae. Spoiler if you haven't watched Speed, she does lose the Speed Championship this week to Sol Ruka, so I feel like she's on the outs. I think her and Nia Jax, when they both come back to TV, should probably be a tag team. Again, I feel like that's kind of where a lot of these women's like in general stories kind of lie right now. I think I'd put Candace in B. I think she's a little bit better off than some of the other ones, but because she's been off TV for a little bit, I don't think it's going to be great. Shayna Baszler, I mean, she'll do Bloodsport, but I don't really see her doing much else after that. Put her in C. Next up is Nia Jax. I think Nia Jax will always be towards the main event scene. She's just that big monster, that big heel. Is a really good character to have. I think I'll put her in B though, because I don't really see her really challenging anybody. Actually, I'll put her in A. I honestly think she will be challenging somebody for a title by SummerSlam because it's just she's too big of a personality, too big of a character not to be, you know, used. Next up is Piper Niven. I think Piper Niven has her thing coming. Like I think she's gonna maybe be the U.S. champion. I think she might take out Chelsea Green pretty soon. If not, I think she at least will be in that universe of being on TV, being shown. So I'll put her in B. I think she's slightly better or has a slightly better story ahead than some of the other women. Next up is Raquel Rodriguez. Depending on if they hold on to the titles at WrestleMania, could be interesting because if they hold on to it, I think she'll be a bigger thing. But if they don't, I don't really know what you do with her. So I'll put her in B because I think she's in a good spot. Next up is Rhea Ripley. If Rhea Ripley isn't champ after WrestleMania, she's still going to be up in that main event scene for the foreseeable future for a long time. So obviously S tier. Next up is Roxanne Perez. Now, about a month ago, I would have definitely put her probably in S tier, maybe even or at least A tier, but she kind of lost that momentum and she's not really used on NXT and a little bit used on the main roster. I think she'll get that official call up at the draft, but for the time being, I think she's kind of in that purgatory. I think she needs to immediately take a title and be dominant. I'm going to put her in A because I really do think she's going to be there. It's a little bit of a stretch for right this second, but I think it's not going to be once all the dust settles. Scarlett doesn't really get in ring action. I'll put her in D. She might get one match a year. Um, she's just kind of a manager. Tiffany Stratton, I think, will still be in the main event scene even if she drops that title. I think S tier for her. Valhalla has been out with pregnancy, and I don't really know if she comes back and even is part of the War Raiders because it doesn't really fit the gimmick unless she changes her gimmick too. So I'll put her in D. Zelina Vega, I think, is either set for a giant push or just being stuck on the sidelines. She either takes that U.S. title from Chelsea Green or she just kind of sits and does nothing. So I'm going to put her in B because there's not really any in between. Ivy Niles kind of a mid push, like she's kind of getting a push, but also not winning. So it's kind of hard to say what she's going to be in. I'll put B. I think she's going to be around because American made, and they go against a lot of tag teams and factions that have other women, and I think she'll be having matches quite often. Just see how successful she is. Io Sky, absolutely S tier. They should be using her towards the top of that card all the time. Next up is Jade Cargill. I think she and Naomi will probably have another match, probably at Backlash. So I think she still will be around for a while, and I think she will get a better push after that. I'll put her up in A tier. Kairi Sane, I really hope she gets a push when she comes back. I'm going to be a little pessimistic because they just haven't really done much with her. I'll put her in C for the time being. I think she has a better spot. Then we got KC2. I honestly think their destination is always together, so I'm going to put them in C for the time being because they did get a push with the gauntlet match, but then lost. So what was the point of that? Liv Morgan, I think, is always going to be towards the main event. I put her in A because she's kind of working the tag team thing. She's kind of been away from the main like titles, but I think she might be up there sooner than later. Lyra, I think, is poised to still have a great year. She's obviously the IC title holder right now. And I think after Mania, I think she's really going to get a lot of push, and she might even be a double champ. So I'm going to put her up in A. Next up is Maxine. I think she gets a slight push with this Natalia thing, but I honestly don't think she gets much ass after that. I'll put her in D. I think she's in a little bit worse shape than the rest of the women in C. Meacham has I think the tail end of her push. She's been on there. I think kind of her and BFAB, if they kind of sit as a tag team, they might have a little bit more success. But I think I'll put her in B. She's get constant screen time, but like it's not anything productive. Dakota Kai, I think hopefully we'll get a better push. I'll put her in B. She's not always had it, but I think she still has a chance. Next up is Chelsea Green. She is the U.S. champ. I think she'll still be the U.S. champ for a little bit, so I'll put her in A because I think she'll be pushed and she's been doing pretty decent. Alba Fire is another one I think deserves a bigger push. I don't think she's going to necessarily get it right this second. I'll put her probably in the same area with Piper Nevin because I think one of them turns on Chelsea at a point or both. And I think if they do that, I think it will be a lot better. Alexa Bliss, I don't know, honestly. I like Alexa Bliss a lot, but I feel like she's not necessarily getting as much screen time as she deserves. I'll put Alexa Bliss in B, and I'm going to move some people around because it's starting to fill up. I'm going to put Shayna and Zoe down, Natalia. I think all that's fine. I'll put Ivy Nile down a little bit, put Candice LeRae down a little bit, and I think I'm solid with that. Next up is Ashka. Again, don't know how long she'll be. I'm going to put her in C just because I think that's a valid place to put her because she deserves a huge push when she comes back. I think she should take the IC title off of Lyra if that's going to be the case. I think that would bring the prestige and also make Lyra look good. I think something like that would be perfect for her to come back to. But I don't know how long that's going to be. Next up is BFAB. I think she's kind of at the max of where they're going to let her. Like she's had some solid matches and she's gotten some solid screen time, but I don't think they really give her much more after this. So I guess I'll put her in D, unfortunately. Next up is Bailey. I think Bailey's always towards the main event scene. Got to put her on an S tier because she just is a workhorse. Becky Lynch, I think I'd put her in C too because I think she's on hiatus, so it might be a lot longer until she's back. Bianca, I think, is S tier. Charlotte, I think, is depending on if she wins the title, I'll put her up in S tier, I guess. I don't really want to. I think Naomi's also in S tier. And we got to even these out a little bit. Who can we put a little bit higher? I think I could move Raquel up a little bit because obviously she's the tag team champ. And I want to move, I guess we'll move Candice back there. I think that's pretty solid. It's a solid way of ranking the division. The division is very deep on the main event. Obviously, in NXT, it's even deeper. I feel like there's some times that we should do some different stuff. And hopefully, this new year after WrestleMania, there'll be a lot of crazy stuff. So, this video, I'm pretty sure will come up before WrestleMania, but for whatever reason, if you're watching this after WrestleMania, ignore probably half of what I said because the whole main event scene probably is completely all over the place. But we'll see how the video goes. Until next time, this has been Japan. Bye, guys.